Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films, Episode 8, Wednesday Night Live. Now, you may be wondering why I am here by myself at this time. And you know what? I kind of know, but I kind of don't. Miss Ashley Priyanka down in Florida in the middle of the hurricane. Prayers out to her, her family, everybody down there in Florida right now. Her power went out early this morning, so she knew she wasn't going to be here from the start. Prayers up. Simply, Yuri, nice to see you in here. Need you guys more than ever. As a matter of fact, if you want to stop in, I will DM both of you guys. You're more than welcome to come in. Sergeant Garnett West, supposedly on his way. So we will keep our fingers crossed on Mr. West. Hopefully he's okay. So there's just a ton to talk about today. And I'm going to go ahead over to Twitter, see if Yuri wants to join me, see if Mr. Simply wants to join me. DM them right now. But the Ravens coming off a big win in New England, just a huge win, and something I see as almost a must win, because with the Buffalo Bills coming to town this weekend, it's going to be such a huge game, just such a huge game. And if we would have went into this thing at 1-2, the nerves would have been there. And there he is, the Sergeant West.
What's going on, man?
Now, you had me worried, brother. Now, we were down Ashley, so let me give you a little bit of crap in front of everybody here. I know you probably had something going on, but right. you had your brother in arms over here having a heart attack here with nobody on the stream.
Nah, man. I'm sorry about that, man. I got a little carried away. Had to do a couple things, but other than that, man, I'm 10 toes down.
All right. Well, I got a special video for you tonight, Garnett, and for everybody out there. Worked hard on it. Hope you're ready. Also, Garnett, I see Mr. Elliott in there with a message to Ashley. Yes, stay safe, Ashley.
Yeah,
I forgot to bring up last week, Elliott, I got your Venmo. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Not everybody wants to contribute during the super chat. You know, not every time you don't have something to say, or maybe you just want to go and bypass the whole YouTube shebang. So we really appreciate all of the donations that we get on Venmo and Cash App. So yeah, man. Garnett, what's going on? Are you okay? Everything cool in all seriousness?
Yeah, no, we're good, dude. I'm just chilling. Just waiting for estimate for some construction to be done in my house. Other than that, man, I'm just chilling. They came by, did some measurements, and yeah.
So we gave everybody an update last week, but you want to just give us a 30-second, update? Is everything okay at the house? How it looks?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Just doing some reconstruction. That's literally that's what it is, man. Still trying to figure out about the whole Buffalo thing, man. Hopefully we'll see how that goes or whatever. We'll see. Just a lot of things are going on all at once, man. I'm just glad I could be here with the football family, and simply. I'm gonna hit you up in the deals, man. Just to talk to you. Hopefully, just keep you strong, my brother. And prayers out for you and your wifey out there, bro.
Yeah, wifey to be at least. I try not to dig too much. You know what I mean? It's none of my business, but they definitely love each other. So yeah, man. I sent out right while you were gone. I sent out some invites, so we might have some special guests on tonight.
Oh,
of course,
really?
Chris just joking. Yeah, I didn't know what was up with you. I should have just hung tight, but you know me, I freak out. Hey, this is Ravens Fans 86, Garnett, in the house.
Hey, so Mr. Dean. Hey, how
there you go. Yeah, I didn't know it was him, man. I didn't know it was him, and I was like, join us for the show. And he tweeted back, "That's him, man. Mike in the house."
Awesome, man. Thank you for joining in, brother.
Yeah, Ashley, Simply might be coming on to join us. That's awesome. Hey, look who we got. Now, you missed this last week. I got Dapper Don, the Don Juan, the Teflon Don, but I added Big Don Stud to the arsenal. What do you think, sir?
Big Don Stud? That sounds like one of them old school WCW wrestler names, bro.
That's it. And, Sarge actually did not get the reference. So I'm glad to have you back. Yeah. And Elliot, again, appreciate all the content. Y'all kill it, man. I appreciate you. Like I said before on this show, and I speak for Garnett, it's the most fun we've had, G. Like, we have fun together, but it's much more fun with all the people in there. Yeah, another message from Don C. praying for Ashley, brother. Totally forgot about her being from Florida. And yeah, I did a little bit of asking and prodding. She's kind of in the middle of it, G. Like it ain't good for her. You know what I mean? I was asking about her, and I was asking Engraven, of course, about where he's at in Florida without being an FBI. She was man, yeah, dude. She's got it bad.
Yeah,
We also got Juan Gotti. I like it, man. The Baltimore, yeah, instead of Don C, bro. Juan Gotti is up there, bro. What do you think about that name,
Yeah,
Sergeant?
I like it, man. That's smooth. I like it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Always have to rewatch. I finally made it live.
Hey,
Thank you, Juan.
appreciate you, dude. For real, appreciate it. Like, I want to tell you that I'm gonna be a little fanboy for Jason, man. I don't know how long y'all been around. Huddle or Fields, man. Like Jason, it's like my brother, man. Like from day one, A1. Like I said, I asked for the Terrell Suggs cut up and literally got it less than like 24 hours, bro. Like the dude is very caring. He cares about us, not just like literally the channel. He could give a damn about the channel as long as we're taken care of as fans, as brothers and sisters. Like how we literally genuinely care about each other, making sure we're going through. We're good through hard times. Like even my little situation was not really hard times, but like Ashley, for instance, like man, just shout out to you, man, for real.
Thank you, Garnett. I don't really say this often, but obviously me and you are tight. We bonded from the first start. But like about our channel, people like Juan Gotti, people like Baltimore Don C, all the people, I ain't even going to start naming them. But I like our family the way it is. Like I'm not out there promoting the channel like crazy on all different platforms. I'm on Twitter. I let the Twitter people know. But I kind of like Garnett, like our family, nice and settled. The people find us. Like sometimes I see, some of the comments and the madness and some of the comments on more popular channels, like my buddy Engraven, all the work he does. But man, that just seems like a lot of mess. I really appreciate us keeping it close knit and having like open-minded people on the channel, but diverse, man. We're diverse. G, like we let it fly, man. We disagree all the time.
Absolutely, man. I think that's the biggest thing about us. Oh man, Hen Dog is in the building. I see you down there. But yeah, it's like with us, man. Like that's what I love about the community that we built from like even last year when me, you, and Jake was on there. It's like you allow me to just be me, and then the fact that I started getting you to laugh a certain way, you're like, damn it, Garnett. Like it just everything just combined naturally. I was like, man, we got something special because this is nothing but a family oriented type of vibe we got, man. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
come as you
that,
are, too, bro.
yeah,
Come as
man.
you are. Like I
Facts.
don't want it any other way. I don't want like sometimes it bothers me. I can tell, other people are out there to try to make it or to, you know what I mean, to always talk nice about the players or so on and so forth. One of the things I like about Hendo in this group, bro, we're gonna have to bring Hendo get on soon. Hendo, be wary, bro. I want you on the show because he's the same way, like-minded individual. And I've never worked with him before, so we got to get this going. But yeah, Boogie Down EJ. Bro, appreciate you in the comments. Thanks for the comment on the music. Garnett, Boogie Down EJ. Big fan of the music on the last video, bro. The running
Yo,
back.
so that's what I was about to say. So is that the guy that's talking about he'll hook us up with some tunes?
No, that is Bailey Got Beats. And Bailey Got Beats.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Two different dudes.
yeah, I'm gonna hold Bailey Got Beats to it, bro. Because he even commented. I don't know if he liked my song or not, but he was like, "I'm gonna get you some beats, bro." So I don't know if that was like a shot at the song, the beat that Chuck and I made, Cosmonaut made, or whatever, man. But I'm gonna hold Bailey Got Beats. I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire, G.
All right, awesome, man. Hey, so just to make sure I'm not out of track, out of tune. So we already talked about JPP or whatever.
No, we haven't gotten to anything. Last week we brushed over it because we weren't expecting him to play. I'm gonna get to a couple more comments, G. Just finish
Okay.
that part of it up, and we'll dive right into it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, bro, Elliot came to us from Ken's film study, which he heard me on there, and Garnett's on there. Garnett, you still do stuff with Ken every once in a while, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I need to reach out to him just to see if I can talk about Linderbaum. But other than that, man, yeah, man. Other than that, man, I'll jump on. We'll talk in the DMs on the day and stuff. But yeah, I'll just jump on the channel maybe once in a while, especially for you know.
All right. Well, how about this lady right here? One of my favorites, Miss B. Always got something cool to say. She's like on the stuff. Do not do that, sir. This is a respectful program.
It is. I got
Well,
to.
I guess
That's a kiss on the cheek. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
YouTube queen for sure. Yeah. Hey, Black Daniels in the house. Jason Garnett, my guys. Greetings, La Familia. Would you like the way I said that, G?
Yeah, smooth off the tongue, my man.
Any yak bars? Well, ain't got to wait to make a move because I'll be loaded, man. That's the way it goes, bro. Like, we shoot straight off the hip here. Yeah. Sipping on Bel L. My chick from Bel L. My whip from Germany. I'm cooler than LL. I clap a Garnett like patty cake, right, sir?
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spot on.
All right. Here we go. Let's get into it. JPP, bro. You down with JPP?
Yeah, you know me.
Take it away, man. Get it to us. Get it to us straight. What are we expecting? How should we set our expectations, Garnett?
So actually, I'm glad you asked the keyword expectations, right? So he's not gonna come here and save the world and get 4 sacks like the jersey number that he's wearing, He's not gonna come here and do that. Yeah, but at the same time, though, he's gonna bring stability with a nice rotation with it. You know what I mean? So, I was talking to people earlier about it, and it's like, and if someone brought up a great point, like, yeah, you learned a lot from Yoda, aka Houston, for Oweh, right? But if you look at JPP's body type and you think about Oweh, it's more similarities. So he can probably teach him, hey, you're not really the most bendy type of player, but I can show you how to use your body for leverage and show you how to win those opportunities when you get a chance. So with JPP, like I said, keyword stability. I feel like he's going to be very. I think we're going to use him on third downs a lot. Well, to be honest with you, with the rotation at hand, it's going to be more than third downs. I'm just going to keep it honest due to the growing injury with Houston. So I see him being very vital out the gate. I feel like we're not going to put a lot of pressure on him to not what I mean by that is put him in situations where he has to learn a lot of lingo of the defense. He's a very savvy veteran, it is, but we're just going to let him play football. Hopefully, if you know what I mean by that. But expectation-wise, I think he's going to do what he needs to do. I'm not saying a lot of sacks, maybe some pressures here or there. Just be able to disrupt the game and just hopefully get us out on those 3-and-out scenarios.
Garnett, I have to admit, I don't know too much about JPP's personality. I know him as a football player pretty well. We've just seen him so many times. And the word that comes to mind is winner. JPP's a winner. And I think some of that can rub off on a young D-line. Calais, he's his own type of leader. Maybe JPP brings something different. You mentioned Houston. But I feel like the more leadership, the better, because just like he was talking about me and you from the bat, we picked it up. Well, there might be somebody else, you may be a great leader to me, but to somebody else, maybe they need to hear another voice to get that gear out of there. So, somebody like me, who knows, maybe Tyus Bowser takes something from JPP. Maybe Patrick Queen takes something from JPP. Maybe Hamilton, like a pro's pro, a winner. He's going to connect with a lot of people, both sides of the ball. As far as his on the field, here's what I think. I think this week, maybe the next couple of weeks, you're looking at a sub rusher, Garnett. Get him in shape. Let him rush the quarterback on third down. If they run it, he can handle that too. Long term, though, man, I think that, look at all the snaps that Calais is playing at his age. If JPP is in that kind of shape and can give that, there's a big role for him to be had, because we've seen us without Bowser using these big defensive ends at outside linebacker, but it's not outside linebacker. They're defensive ends. So just like we've been using Campbell, JPP is one of those guys too.
Right, and I'm glad that you said that. Hopefully, we learned our lesson for healthy scratching Brent Urban. That was pretty crazy how we did that. I was still a little asking questions about it, and I'm glad to follow your boy down there says Copeland. Hopefully, we're in a situation where if we can get help from anywhere, we're going to take it. And brother Copeland right there, he came out and got a sack that game. Hopefully, that might be a motivational thing for him. We can build up. I'm not saying that it's going to happen every week, but you know what? Build off of that. Like build off those type of situations where it is, and then down the stretch when we get Bowser, come back, it helps the rotation as it is. So the JPP bar, I'm glad how you said it. Just you hit it right on, you hit the nail right on his head. You can teach me as much as you can from your point of view, what you've been through from experience. And then you have a guy, like I said, with JPP, where it's like, hey, take what Houston gave you, but I want you to think about like this. You're a 6'6", 6'5" guy that basically you have to use certain tactics to your advantage. You have long arms reach. You get, it's like just little things. Like, so I'm not calling Justin Houston a small man whatsoever, but there's certain things that
he's a technician's technician.
Yeah.
Like there's a big gap from where Oweh is in his career to get to Justin Houston. JPP started out a freak, just like Odafe starting out a freak. So I got you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, look, if like until you master what you need to master, we're gonna master using your body to the best of the full extent. So, and the same thing when it's like almost like reverse when it comes to like a file lately. We're gonna get to there, but it's basically the same ordeal. Where hey, right now while you're in the prime of your career, yes, you can learn as much as you can, but we're gonna need you to step it up and use all your physicality at the most optimal level as you can. But yeah, I'm right there with the whole JPP. Go ahead.
No, I'm bringing up Hendo, bro. This transitions really nicely. Thank you, Hendo. We have a lot of mentorship going on, no doubt about it. We got some veterans on this team. It's a nice mix. I think, by the way, Garnett, we're like right in the middle of the NFL in age. We're not, the youngest or the oldest. Like we got a good mix. But when are we going to get on-field producers? All right, so I think really for me, this is going to come down to one person and one person only, because Justin Houston has produced. There's one other outside linebacker. It's the man we were mentioning, Odafe Oweh. I'm going to give my take first, Hendo. I see all the rates of him getting pressure. Okay, it's an okay rate. I see him getting held a lot. Last week was ridiculous with him getting held. I see the double teams that he's getting, Garnett. But still, I want more. I want more quickly. His whole thing, Odafe said it. It's come out of his mouth more than once. I'm a disruptive player. I'm there to cause chaos in the backfield. I'm there to disrupt things. Well, you know what? You don't need a lot of moves to do that. The great ones find a way. I am not down on Odafe Oweh. I feel like he's okay. He's going to be good. But I need to see more, and I need to see it soon, Garnett.
Hey, you're like me and you are like JG Wentworth. I want my money and I want it now, right? So with that being said, look, here's what I've been trying to like think about, because I made a bet with a lot of Ravens fans through Twitter, like just Twitter space as well, because I understand who Oweh is. Like I feel like I understand who he is, and I told people like before I got my people jumped down my throat and they didn't let me finish. I said, hey, Oweh right now is a Jadeveon Clowney, and it's okay. He's a disruptive force. He ain't gonna give you double-digit sacks, but he's gonna f up a game tremendously due to his athleticism and being good. But we need him to be more than that. I get it. Like it's a progress, right? But here's my thing: when you are telling me that he's going to be a double-digit sack guy, but we're going against the Jets, who were beat up at the offensive tackle position. Their line was just in shambles, to be honest with you. And you didn't produce one sack, or well, you should have had at least two in that game, but you didn't produce one sack. Okay, cool. You can give me an excuse there. We can try to give me an excuse. Okay, cool. We go to Miami. Their line, Armstead was battling an injury. Their line was pretty beat up. I didn't get a sack. Okay, so it's one of those things where the beginning of the schedule is literally light for you to dominate, and you didn't dominate at what we're asking for. Me and Jason, what we're asking for. So that's where the skepticism comes up. Like, okay, the road's only going to get tougher. So what should I expect from you, man? Because time is ticking. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Garnett, I agree with everything you said except the first part. I don't think he's being disruptive right now. I don't. I think he needs to be more disruptive. I think he's been okay. But like when you say he's disruptive and the rest is a process, like I think you're being a little too nice on Odafe Oweh. I'm like I said, I'm not down on him, but we saw him be more disruptive earlier last season against some better talent frequently. Hey, let's get a couple more comments in here. Cosmonaut, the return of Garnett. See, you were missed, bro. You know you were missed.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, Hendo checking in again. Yeah, a lot of people get triple team. Oweh cannot be blocked by a tight end alone. That's something, Hendo, that if college prospects are getting blocked by college tight ends, they slip way down my board, bro. You got to be able to dominate a tight end. I mean, even we saw 30 whatever old McPhee dominate tight ends. And then Shrimp Trawler, good point. Oweh is probably on the wrong side out of necessity. Wait till Bowser comes back. Bowser will help him out. Don C, biggest fear with Oweh is that we will be like Za'Darius and Judon. When they start getting good, Garnett, they get expensive and price themselves out. It's worked out before, though, with what's his name, Paul Kruger. There's been a few others that have gotten lost in the mix, but Za'Darius specifically, Judon really too, although I think that was more a wink, two that got away.
Yeah, that like I know. I would have loved to kept Judon, but when we lost to Darius, I never recovered. I was hurt. Hey, look at this handsome little youngster down there. Look at this guy.
Yeah, man, he could be my son. He's not old enough. He's too old to be your son, though, Garnett. I think.
Fresh meat, boys.
Unless you were really doing some business early. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but the whole. Yeah, how you doing, man? Before I finish up.
I'm doing great, Garnett. You look great. You got your polo on. I see that. Jason, you're looking well, fellas. Good to be back on here. I gotta say, I got a lot of commitment tonight. I burned my mouth with the pizza I just got out of the oven. And Jason, you sent me the message to come on. So do anything to get on the show, man. Do anything to get on the show.
You can burn your pizza burn your mouth with pizza. I got you.
I believe it. So Garnett, can you please finish up on Oweh and then Marshall, pick it up right after him, all right? Because I know you've been
just the moral of the story with Oweh. You're right. I was being nice, but I was just being generous about being aggressive and being disruptive. He needs to step it up. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, he's playing 84% of the snaps on defense. This is not even including special teams. And I get it. So, but Michael Parsons is playing 78, I get it. It's generational. How you want to look at it, it's generational, but at the end of the day, Michael Parsons is literally getting double teamed and wrecking double teams. And that's grown man strength, grown man freakish athletic ability doing that. And we all said Oweh has the same potential. So this is where I get it, apples, oranges, but at the same time though, they came from the same tree of fruit. So so I want to see them. I want to see Oweh live up to what he is supposed to be, or what he's been called upon to be. That's all.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, real quick before I get to Oweh, I have to because I called it on 2/22/22 that the Ravens signed Jason Pierre-Paul, and 7 months later on that exact date, we signed him on 9/22/22. So just a little throwback to Jason Pierre-Paul, pat on my back. I'm wearing my Jimmy Smith jersey tonight. Shout out to all the 33-year-old veterans. Come to Baltimore. Anyway, Odafe Oweh, yeah, he needs to step it up. It's kind of go or get off the pot time. I understand that maybe these guys, these uber athlete edge rushers, you see someone like Rashawn Gary who has all the size and measurables, they don't really get going until maybe year 3. So maybe that's a reality with him. But obviously, as the Ravens, the situation we sit in now, we need him to get going. We need somebody who's going to come off the edge and get home. And I agree, the first 3 games have not been what I thought would be. But he's also faced one of the most quick passing offenses out there. And, Joe Flacco is the backup quarterback. They just want to get the ball out quick. Tua, he wants to get the ball out quick, get his fast guys. And then Mac Jones, another quick passing offense, so to say. So I understand the give and take, but I also understand that you got to get going at some point. You got to at least get a sack.
There you go. So that's Ravens fans 86, Yuri, down there. If you know, on Michael Dean on YouTube. I think we've given some reasons, Michael. I think that, Yuri mentioned something good. The quick passing attack of the Dolphins doesn't help. The double teams doesn't help. Last week, he was held ridiculously to the point where even I was mad at officials. And I never blame the officials, bro. I just kind of expect them to be bad. But there's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be a reason. There's always going to be stuff working against you. When Tua, took some 5-step drops or held the ball, that's when you got to kick it into gear and really, really get home and be disruptive, Mike. So I don't have a lot of like I said, I'm not bashing him. I'm not, it's way too early for any of that stuff. But all of us are on the same page. We need him, and we need him now. Question from Shrimp Trawler: could Jimmy Smith come out of retirement? Yuri, go ahead, buddy. Keep it short.
Yeah. I don't think that that comment they made about him coming back was for nothing. I do think if they do need him, that he will come out.
No comment from me. I'm leaving that alone.
Bro, you got his bleeping jersey. It's the Smith 22, a la the Jason Smith 22 I had on my back in the green and gold, bro. No comment for Jimmy.
I just don't see. I get it. Ravens legend, Super Bowl. 3. He held against Michael Crabtree. I get it, but I just don't see him call it. I just don't see it calling out of retirement, man. I just don't. I just you know what I mean. Like, I ain't trying to crush. I ain't trying to be the negative dude, man. Don't put me in this spot, man.
All right, I don't think he's coming. I would put it like at 10-15% because I think we have the outside corners. They're just not playing well. I would like to see Jimmy come back, but look, we got Brandon Stevens on the bench. We got Jalen Armour-Davis, who doesn't look ready to me. Like, if anything happened, I feel like Jimmy's an outside corner too. So you got Marlon, you got Marcus, you got Brandon Stevens, you got Jalen Armour-Davis, all outside corners. Marlon can move. But what we really need is guys like Pepe, and Ardarius Washington to step up in that slot. I wonder, could Frank Walker come out of retirement? That is a good one. Shrimp Trawler, bro. See, I like it. Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. Let's stay on the defense, bro, because we have a lot with Lamar too, but I just mentioned it. It's the coverage in the middle of the field, Yuri. You're a guest here bailing us out. I want you to go first. So I'm looking at Marlowe. He's making my notes every week, playing really well. I'm looking at Peters. They're staying away from Marcus Peters. We did the film study a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you missed it, with Patrick Queen being out of position again and again and again. And then when we put Stevens in the slot or Armour-Davis in the slot, they don't seem shifty enough to keep up with these slot receivers. So I'm thinking we need two things to happen. One, Patrick Queen either has to get his stuff together in coverage, or we need to find another linebacker in passing down. So even if we put Bynes out there, he had an interception last week. And number two, I want to see Pepe play. Our buddy Skeptic Goat even mentioned today Ardarius Washington as another guy who's got the quicks to stick with slot receivers. Yuri, cleaning up the middle of this pass defense because we're pretty solid on the outside, bro.
Well, not to get blocked on Twitter, so I will just use the player who wears number 6 for the Ravens. He needs to get a little more heady about him in pass coverage. What's going on behind him? You see him drop a pick 6, which is huge. The drop, I mean, that he catches that, he goes all the way. And obviously that wasn't over the middle, but still he's got to make more plays over the middle. I just don't think he's been great in coverage, and he's a good blitzing linebacker. But I agree with you. If it comes down to it, it's probably time to look for his replacement. That could be Josh Ross, who is currently on IR, I think. And maybe come week 8, they get him out there and see what happens. But the other thing is, like, I think it's really a huge learning curve. I mean, we are depending on rookies to go try and mostly cover the middle of the field while Marlon and Marcus Peters on the outside. Like, you have Pepe, you have Kyle Hamilton trying to cover the middle of the field. Like, there's going to be a learning curve. But I do think that Mike McDonald needs to put these guys in better positions.
Yeah, Garnett, I want you to respond to it in this way, please, for Bailey. We'll be good in the defensive back room. They just got to gel. That was Marcus Peters' message today at the podium. We just need a little time to get our S together, I think is what he said. But he's just basically saying, look, we're on lock. Maybe Yuri has a point here, Garnett, with the new coordinator trying to figure things out. Ravens, by the way, number 1 in the league in turnovers. We were terrible last year. We couldn't get a turnover. So at least we're getting the turnovers necessary. It's a damn shame we're not 3-0 from the way our offense has played these first 3 weeks. Garnett, what do you got to say about Bailey's comment?
So shout out first of all, shout out to my boy Devon in here. But I do agree. We need to put let the defense, let the secondary is going to gel. They'll get their ish together and they'll be somewhat, be okay somewhat. But it's on the coaching staff. Okay, it's on the player to execute, but it's on the coaching staff to put these dudes put the right personnel, put the right people there to get the job done. Like how you guys are talking about Pepe Williams being a slot, or Darius Washington being a slot. We always try to use Brandon Stevens as a bigger slot corner, like the bigger nickel, and all these things. I get it, but I'd rather just keep those dudes on the outside and just let the guys that we know or we have a better grasp or understanding, like, hey man, stride for stride, quickness for quickness. Pepe or Darius could be those dudes. But for some reason, we go away from it, and then it just causes more, havoc. So I don't know, man. It's
I wanted to bring this up too, Garnett. We tried putting Marlon in the slot to fix that problem. What happened? Devontae Parker lit up whoever he was at and made he had maybe 2 catches coming into the game. He started lighting us up. Right. So again, Marlon's been great. Marcus hasn't really even been tested. He's been really good. I like Pepe, Garnett, because when I've seen him lose, it hasn't been by much. He's been right there. Whereas Stevens, it's just like either great play or bad play. Armour Davis looks far away from being ready to me. G.
Right. And like it's just to have a little context with Jalen Armour Davis. He didn't play no preseason. 0. So like what you're seeing is what you're gonna get, out of Jalen Armour Davis. No disrespect to him. I know like the media team was saying how mature and how wise he is and all this, but it's like there's a difference between being wise and having experience and understanding what your responsibilities are on the field. So and like I said, like I'd rather keep those guys on the outside and just let the guys. Pepe Williams, he's a dog. Like how you said about with Pepe, he's literally in the hip pocket making plays. He's not 3 yards trailing behind the player. So I get it. The secondary is going to come around, but at the same time, just make sure it'll come around a lot faster if we're not, trying to, put people in that shouldn't be in. Like, no disrespect to them, but is what it is.
Yeah, so we're all on the same page there, man. This week is going to be a tough week. We're going to look at the numbers coming up soon. Man, time is flying on the show. So I just want to get past the defense now and talk about the offense and Mr. Lamar Jackson. Man, I'll just let you start, Marshall. Like, I can pick up anywhere. Like, whatever you don't say, I got some more stuff to say. I guarantee you, because what I'm seeing from Lamar, even on the plays that aren't made, it's the avoiding sacks, throwing the ball out of bounds, the not getting baited into interceptions. I'm just seeing everything, even stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, sir.
Definitely. And me and Garnett had a conversation about this early in the offseason. If Lamar put in the work, he could be the alpha and omega at quarterbacks. And so far, he is currently the alpha and omega at quarterbacks. He's playing under center. He's playing the shotgun pistol. What he is the offense. He is currently responsible for 89% of our offense and yards, touchdowns, whatever you name it. He is responsible for it. He's making throws wherever you need him to. He's navigating the pocket and he's avoiding pressure. I mean, he's playing Lamar ball. Like he says, everyone's oh, Lamar ball, he's gonna get injured. No, he's just playing Lamar ball, and Lamar ball is leading the league and touchdown passes and absolutely dissecting defenses. So you can take your narratives and you can shove them in the can. And as long as Lamar Jackson is here, we're going to put up points.
Bro, I never confidently, even during the 2019 season where I said Lamar is the best quarterback in the NFL. I could honestly say this, like, it's crazy. Like, Lamar is literally the best quarterback in the NFL, hands down. And the things that I wanted to see are all coming into light. Just the nuance, just the little things, the nuances of playing quarterback, from getting your lineman, getting the play in on time, check, making calls, like, being more verbal to your coaching staff, like, hey, I want this type of freedom. Hey, allow me to make checks at the line, allow me to, like, audible out of stuff, those things. Boom. Now let's get to the mechanics parts. For 2 years straight, he has finally, been working on his mechanics, feet, release, drive, everything about a quarterback. Check, check, check. We've seen it all. We've seen it. We've seen him do a no-look pass. Like, we've seen him literally drop things in the back of the corner end zone on fade routes, which we rarely used to run back in the day. Fade routes. Like, bro, we are a pass first team now. It's just the craziest. It's like so many things. Like, dude, it's over. It is over. Yep. Like, all we got to do is just have the line protect, and Lamar's going to eat it up either way.
Yeah, see, and there's another thing. It's the stuff we've been talking about on this show, Garnett, for a couple of years. It's even though the MVP season, unprecedented. I think he was better in 2020. I think he was better in 2021 than he was in 2020. It doesn't show in the stat sheet. Like 2019, the league wasn't ready. You can see the read option. We've had to play games with that automatic Lamar bursting to the outside for 9 yards isn't there anymore. Like, they had to change everything. But Lamar has added something to his game every year. And you've always seen the touch since back at Louisville. I thought he threw a beautiful deep ball. I was saying, look, he's got to be able to drive that ball from opposite hash to the sideline. He's gotten that down. His arm looks stronger than ever. His mechanics look stronger than ever. But the reason I've always been so excited about Lamar is that it takes quarterbacks a while to mature. And some of them never get to the point where you see a Tom Brady or a Drew Brees or Aaron Rodgers, where they're at the line of scrimmage and they're directing stuff and they see something and they want to manipulate, like we saw on that Bateman slant, where he wanted to single that up, gave a little motion to move the linebacker, freed up Bateman. Bateman takes a quick slant to the house. Like, that's Lamar. Giro, of course, called the play, but that's Lamar manipulating things at the line of scrimmage. Like, we never really necessarily saw that with like Joe Flacco even. There was a cap to it. Lamar has gotten to this point where he is the general out there. So now all the natural physical gifts that he has can be multiplied even more. And I think it's a great sign, because he's only going to get better. 25 years old, he's going to be better at reading the field at 28 than he is. And he's still not going to be like, people think he's going to fall off a cliff and be like a statue, which I don't get. Like, look at Russell Wilson now in his 30s. He can still move. He's still like 400 or 500 yards a year. So Yuri, man, like, the blitz is one thing I wanted to bring up. The blitz was a problem last year. Now all of a sudden he is like historically good against the blitz through 3 games.
And you know what's ironic, Jason? 2019, when he won the MVP, guess where he was in the blitz? Top 5. Guess what he had in 2019? Top 5 offensive line. I mean, the whole narrative of Lamar Jackson can't beat the blitz was not because Lamar Jackson could beat the blitz. He had DJ Fluker, war criminal, Alejandro Villanueva out at tackle. Like, Door Dashers at guard. Like, it just it's very disingenuous when people say you can't beat the blitz. I just think the whole blitz and protection thing was more because of the offensive line of Lamar. So here he is now. He has a formidable offensive line, and he is beating the blitz. He is like, I think he's number 1 in the league right now beating the blitz. He's number 1. Like, the Ravens are number 2 or number 3 in efficiency in passing. Like, it's a very piss poor driven narrative in my opinion. And I do think that Lamar Jackson is elite versus the blitz when you have people actually protecting him.
There you go. I mean, Lamar's just playing out of this world. You can find plenty of Lamar content out there. They love to use them. But, I mean, just from watching the film, studying it, and being extra critical, like I am with the players, I've never seen him this good. And I've always believed in him. And I believe he's still got some more room to grow, which is absolutely terrifying, because just watching him, like I said, there was a play where he got out of the pocket, scrambled, and threw the ball out of bounds. It might have been one of the best plays of the year because he was dead to rights. I have no idea how he got out of that, was able to see things break down. One time he had a free rusher, stepped up and saw Morgan Moses was beat before I even did on TV and was out of there. It was just nuts. Z the Beast, we got some. I think this is a patting on the back. Said before the season started, if he was given the attempts, he would be the greatest player ever. Most attempts of his career. We'll see about that greatest player ever. Alec has got something to say. Think about this one, Garnett. I'm going to come to you after I get through the comments here. Get some Lele analysis up next. Ms. B says she loves what she's seeing from Lamar this year. And Black Daniels with the reminder that we all need. Now, Ashley's not here, so I'm going to try to do my best. Please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you never miss an episode. I'll be recording stuff and releasing stuff all week. Ashley, can't hold a candle to your presentation, but that is the best I have right now. Black Daniels, we are literally watching the maturation of Lamar right before our eyes, and he's producing in incredible fashion. G-Row, yes, I've been a big G-Row critic. I saw a couple of creative plays. He got us a touchdown by scheme on the red zone after struggling. Garnett and Yuri have to give G-Row his love too, because he is really, really showing it. But let's get back to the Lele analysis. Garnett, what do you got on the big man? What did you think about his first game?
So the first half, yeah, obviously, you can hold him accountable for, the first half of, whatever when he first came in. I get it. But once he got his feet settled, keyword feet settled, or key phrase, I should say, not even keyword. His feet were settled. He found a groove. We went from, chipping, tight end or extra, the tight end chipping for him to help him out. After a while, he didn't need it anymore. It was one of those ones where he just got comfortable figuring out, oh, snap, I can play football. I can be in this league. And that's why I'm very pleased that he was able to mature at a fast rate in the middle of a game. So I'm very ecstatic. The fact that, the following week you go against Von Miller, that's where it gets a little, okay, let's see how fast you can grow again, So obviously we're going to give him a couple of chip blocks there, but I'm happy for him, man. You can't beat experience. That's why I was trying to tell a buddy of mine, like, as much as you sit on the sideline, you watch things on, you can watch, have a clicker in your hand, you're watching film. It's nothing like having that live action in front of you. So the fact that this man wasn't supposed to actually be on the field, and the fact that he was playing left tackle, I'm happy for him, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Yuri, our fourth option at tackle already is playing. Pretty amazing. We've gone through Juwan James. We've gone through McCary. Morgan Moses is still hanging in there. Really fifth option if you count Stanley. There wasn't any left tackle that was going to sign here. I see this on Twitter and it blows my mind. Like, are you going to spend $15 million? There's only so many left tackles out there. I mean, the Ravens did what they can. You're not going to sign somebody to be a backup for big money at left tackle. We loaded up on right tackles. We drafted Linderbaum, which the film study's coming up very, very soon. Daniel Lele, like Garnett was just saying, he's going to have his hands full this week with Von Miller. I don't think he can catch Von Miller when Von does a speed rush. It's just, I don't think the physics work out. He's going to need a hell of a lot of help. But some great signs, I thought, in the first game, Yuri.
Yeah, I mean, you see there in the first half a lot of what you evaluate in the draft. Like he wasn't getting deep enough in his vertical set. He was just like step behind, and he's always putting the outside hand on the outside shoulder. And the goal of that is you want to get as deep as possible in your set. But the thing is, he wasn't get deep enough, so the guy would end up going on like the middle of the chest plate, and the guy would bend around him. I think it was Dietrich Wise a lot of the time that's bending around him. So you see in the second half, he gets deep. He learns from his mistake. he gets deep and he starts anchoring in the backfield, and no one gets by him. I think for that whole second half, not a single pressure, sack, whatever, QB hurry. So I'm impressed. I really am impressed. I think it takes a lot for a player to learn from your mistakes, and he did it very quickly. And so, like you guys said, come up this week though, this is going to be like, if he's out there, this will be the biggest test we'll have, because this is like the definition of what did Daniel Falele struggle against in the draft, the speed rusher. He struggled poorly against a speed rusher. So, like you guys said, I expect a blocker to be out there with him, Nick Bull, Pat Ricard, Josh Oliver, whatever, and maybe hopefully Stanley's back, but I doubt it.
All right, Garnett, are you ready to get to your film study of one of your personal favorites? I have a special surprise for Garnett here that we're going to play. And guys, I want to not warn, it might be a little loud when I tested it beforehand. The volume might be a little louder than what you hear us. So get your fingers ready on that turn down button if it's a little here. But we have 3 important people in this video talking about Tyler Linderbaum. The first is much more important than the second 2 to Ravens fans. That's Mr. Lamar Jackson. But the second 2 handsome fellas talking about Daniel Falele on April 8th, 2022. Tyler Linderbaum. 2 handsome-looking guys talking about Tyler Linderbaum on April 8th before the draft and what they thought about Tyler Linderbaum as a prospect. Enjoy, everybody.
Play like somebody who's more experienced than he is.
He do. He was. We watched film and he was doing things, passing off blocks, going to the next backers, to the safeties. Like he was looking like a pro. Like you got to watch the film. I can't even like describe like how intense it was out there for him and how high he was performing. It looked incredible just to see a rookie out there doing what he's doing. It looked like he's been here before. He just got to keep doing what he's doing and keep stacking.
But when it comes to this fully loaded baked potato, what I'm trying to get at, you can take away the sour cream, or you can just leave the butter, or you can do whatever you want. This baked potato is always going to be fully loaded due to his resume. I feel like he is the best. I'm not saying get him at 14. That's the biggest thing I think what a lot of people think. I'm assuming that, hey, I want 14 center in this draft. And I watched enough tape, like hours of tape, of trying to understand like what's not the like. This dude gets to the second. He's doing everything that we would want.
So I think that the scheme part of it is overblown because he can do whatever you ask him to do. And as far as climbing up to the second level, you almost stole my thunder there. If you're going to pick one center in this draft to either be part of a combo block in either way, so you have somebody chipping on his guy and he's able to slide over and seal, he can do that perfectly. Or if you're looking for timing where he's the guy kind of chipping and climbing to the second level, he will get to your linebackers at a much better rate than most of the centers in the NFL today. His movement is that good. You're going to ask him to move a man off the spot. That's not his thing. But, of course, on the inside, there's a lot of combo blocks where he can work in tandem, keep his feet moving. And, of course, Linderbaum is just a technical expert. 31 and an eighth is kind of short, especially if you put him up against a Travis Jones at 34 plus inches, who's just as quick as Linderbaum. Guy like Travis Jones is going to be a handful for Linderbaum. So I don't think he's the perfect prospect, but I agree with you. And a lot of what people are worrying about with Linderbaum is overblown. So with Linderbaum, I'm with you. He's a guy I wouldn't want to pick at 14 because of the other players who are going to be available there. But if the Ravens find themselves in a strange spot and they go trade back, he's right in there with the guys, Garnett on my list, your Zion Johnsons, your Devin Lloyds, your Olave, Linderbaum. Those are the kind of guys, Daxton Hill, I love, Booth. Like one of those guys is going to be there. It's mathematically impossible. So if we trade back to 18, 20, something like that, he would be one of those many guys that I just listed off to you. One of them's going to fall, Garnett.
But if you have an opportunity to solidify a position at center, now you're able to move Macari at tackle or whatever. So you're creating opportunities due to the fact that you already solidified your center spot. I seen this dude. It was a zone blocking scheme to the right.
He literally crossed face of the nose tackle, blocked him off, got past that, and got to the linebacker, and basically literally blocked 3 people at one time.
It's vision. It's vision and instincts and IQ. I don't even want to say IQ. It's just a natural feel for the game, man. You can't study for that. You can't prepare for that. That's just playing a lot of center and being good at football. Yeah, I've seen plays like that from him too, where it's just a subtle check with his left arm. You know what I mean? Just the subtlest. And if it needs to be hard and he needs to put a little more into it before he goes, he knows when to do that. Or if he barely needs to touch the guy because his counterpart's got him, he almost has like that peripheral vision to kind of feel what's going on over there without him having to actually look at what's going on over there and move on to the next thing. That's why I said with them combo blocks, Garnett, he's got really good timing where he's got to decide, okay, I really need to stick with this guy because my guy next to me is having problems. This is a big guy. We're not in a good position right here. I'm going to have to kind of give up and punt on that linebacker to make sure my running back can get through the initial hole. Or the opposite, when he knows his guy's in a good position, he just barely checks him and goes and hunts that linebacker.
And literally can do a lot of things great. Get to the second level tremendously. Literally cross the face of a linebacker and then be able to like literally take out a safety on top of that on one play. Like, I just don't. I understand. You know, we don't value centers so that it turns people off at 14 or later in the first. But you got a guy. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's crazy to me. Like you just literally just spat it off. A lot of things that a lot of people can't do at the center position. I mean, that's why I say with a full loaded baked potato, you get so many great things. You can do whatever you want with it. At the end of the day, it's probably going to make you full before you even get to that main entree.
Mr. West, now I have the actual film study that I'm going to load. Yuri started off, man. What do you have to think about that piece of art that I caught up? Now, Garnett went on for about 15 minutes, so I had to do a lot of editing, sir.
I got to say, that was a beautiful video. I mean, I enjoyed it. Hey, there's nothing like making a call out of an absolutely insane football player and they end up on your football team. And it seems like Garnett has done it twice in a row, 2 years in a row. So that video really inspired me. I think my week, I'm going to go do great things this week just because of that video.
Garnett, man. Now, they say black don't crack, but I got to say, I think I look better today than I did in that video. And you, sir, look about 5 years older with that beard.
Yeah, man. That's what I was looking at. Like, where did this man come from? Like, man, where was I at? Jesus, man. Hey, man, I'm just saying, bro. Like, hey, we need to do this cookout a lot more often, man. This barbecue cookout, because like I never forget the show that you did with Chris Aguilar, 1/3 of D Cover Podcast, and then I just remember I'm trying to figure out who should we? I guess it mentioned about Linderbaum. He's like, I know who you should bring up. You know what I mean? And we made it happen. But man, it's crazy how unkey we are from you with the Macari, Linderbaum, just everything just literally, well, bam. You know what I mean? It came together, and that was not a surge. Black Daniels, that was a Four Loko. I'm an avid Four Loko drinker. Not trying to give them a shameless plug or whatever. But yeah, man. But yeah, look at him. The waves were dripping. Yeah, you know, my brother over there, JC, was dripping over there. But yeah, man. I'm just gonna hey Yuri, this is all I gotta say. Okay, I'm done. But like literally, that's all I can do, man. Because once you call something so right, all you can do is just laugh. Like it's just, we know the Ravens, man. We knew what was happening, but that's all it. Holy shit! I'm gonna skip my language. Oh, here we go.
All right, here we go. We got a lot to get to, Garnett. So, Yuri, you've watched these. Interrupt me if you want, but I'm going to try to keep it moving. And one thing I did this week, guys, I'm trying to improve the process. We're going to see the play in regular speed, and then I have it at like 70% speed or half speed the next play. So we get to see him twice, once fast, once slow. Should give us a better chance to analyze. So Linderbaum, I didn't draw the circles. He's the guy snapping the ball. here we go against the Jets, and we're going to see what Lamar was talking about him climbing up to that second level. He's going to trip on this one and still get to the linebacker. And he's got some nasty to his game, Garnett, something I noticed in college, but it's translated right away. If there's a scrap or after the whistle, look at the balance and body control to be able to still square that up. Andrews kind of missed his block there. Could have been a bigger run. Tyler Linderbaum climbing to the second level. Here we go again. Watch him climb to the second level. And I really like this one because, like we were talking about earlier, Garnett, on this one, he has to stick with this guy a little longer to let Zeitler get there and then climbs up to it. So, Yuri, Garnett, comment. That's one of the things we were talking about. The first one, we saw him bypass it and get there quickly. That time he had to stick and go. We're seeing the timing of Tyler Linderbaum.
Absolutely, man. And right there, he passed off Carl Davis effortlessly. And Carl Davis is a former Raven, 6'5", 3, at least on a good day, 6'5", 350. Like literally, he's solid, man. So the fact that he did that so smooth, man, is just that the whole if he can get under like he just did it there, he wins. That's all that matters.
Yuri, talk about his timing for real quick, man.
You see it with Linderbaum. He understands leverage, and he's using one arm, getting under the shoulder pad, and continuously running. And that is something that is absolutely magnificent from his game. And then you see him obviously reach the second level. Very, very, very smooth. And obviously here, you showed it before. He trips, gets through, and absolutely blows up. I think that's Quincy Williams there, linebacker for the Jets.
Yeah, he struggled with Quentin Williams, the defensive lineman, but he got to Quincy Williams a lot. 2Q Williams on the Jets roster. So here we go. We're going to look at this Patriots play one more time and then move on. We got some of his run blocking at first. Now we're going to move on to the pass blocking. So let's let it roll a few more plays here, gentlemen. Let's see what we got here on this play. This is against the Patriots again. You see some zone concepts. I love this one because of the IQ. Now, I want you to watch closely on the replay. He is trying to go between Powers and Faalele. I'm going to pause it right there. You see where Justice Hill is heading? You see where Linderbaum is heading? They're hoping Faalele can kick out. Ricard can kick out on their left. They're hoping Ben Powers can seal to the right. That doesn't happen. So Linderbaum's acting like a fullback on this play, and he's going to say there's no hole. All right, Justice, let's go over here. Adjusting on the fly, and, of course, again, he's going to finish that man off like he doesn't have a family to go home to. Just high IQ play you see over and over again. Look how quick off the snap he is. Now, this is a sneak by Mark Andrews. He ends up getting 5 yards out of it because Linderbaum's so quick off the snap. He doesn't even go to the ground, bro. He's just – and, of course, he's going to give a little shove. He likes that action, boss. Linderbaum, here you go, bro. The screen game. Watch him get out. You know, it's not going to be perfect when you're out in that space on a guy with a number 9. But he's going to go and he's going to reach a safety on this play. Like he's the same size and quickness as that safety. Maybe it's a cornerback. I'm not sure. Some kind of DB. So we're getting into the pass blocking here. What do you think? What have you thought about his pass blocking so far? Because I think if he gets against an explosive athlete like Quentin Williams, he's going to have some problems because of the quickness and power, everything that Quentin Williams has. He's not going to be a liability, but that'll give him problems like every other center. But if he's up against like one of these kind of sloppy body type dudes, we'll be able to see he's got plenty of power in that situation. Garnett, Linderbaum on the pass blocking.
Hey, so with that being said, Quentin Williams is a grown freaking man. Like, but the funny thing about the NFL, there's only one Quentin Williams. Like, there's only a couple Fletcher Coxes of the world. Even, hey, we can say our own with Travis Jones and with Pierce, right? With that being said, like, I feel like those sloppy bodies like you were talking about, he's going to be able to, I would say, win majority of those battles, especially in the third or fourth quarter when these guys are getting wore out. They're just, obviously, hopefully we got the lead by then. And basically these guys are going to be, tired out. And then the specimen that Linderbaum is just a savvy, like you just said, how he's just a smart, high IQ football player with the nastiness about him. And he's in really phenomenal shape. I just think that he's going to be perfectly fine down the stretch. And it's just going to get better. And then obviously whoever's the left guard is going to be better as well. I feel like just in timing, like how we talked about the secondary gelling, the offensive line is going to be the same exact way. But Linderbaum, I really do see Pro Bowl / maybe All Pro potential out of him, man. It's just everything about him just too smooth, man.
So Yuri, stick on the pass blocking for me, bro. Give me your assessment.
So far, it's the same thing I saw from the draft. Die slowly. That's what he's been doing. He's not going to get absolutely blown up. Like I said before, he understands leverage. He understands how to anchor, and he will continue doing that no matter how big the guy is. I mean, you see, I think Raekwon Davis or whoever it was, Christian Wilkins, 6'7", lined up right over the top of him, and he just anchors down, holds down the fort. So I'm pleased with him. Sure, there's room for improvement, like you said, with maybe the quicker, faster, freakier athletes, but at the same time, he still holds his own. So I'm pleased with it.
I added this one on because look how quick he gets out of his stance. I mean, bro, he's out of his stance before the other guys are even moving. Just a ridiculously quick start. Like he snaps the ball like he knows he snapped. Look at that.
Bro.
2 feet right in front of him. And he's stronger than you want to give him credit for. Once he gets those hands on you, he is incredibly strong. So that's why I think he'll have one-on-one matchups against a sloppier body or a less dynamic athlete. He's going to be fine. Watch him toss that man right in there. That is the Duvernay play. Be good to watch that in slow motion. Watch, here comes the blitzing linebacker, picks him up and dumps him onto Power's side. Allows Lamar to make a great throw. So Lamar didn't even have anybody in his face on that. Here we go. Watch him pass off this stunt very beautifully.
Oh, man. Come on. Get out of here.
Some gratuitous Rashad Bateman yak there, but again, watch him. It's like he doesn't even feel him. Or he doesn't even see him. He just feels him coming. Like he knows what's coming. And it's just the IQ shows over and over again, the feel for the game that Garnett and I were talking about in April. There he is handling Quinn Williams on that one.
That's a perfect example of him dying slowly. The guy's bigger than him, but he's not going to let the guy just absolutely run him over.
And the one thing, too, like literally, I think hopefully it's just the same one. If you watch, once he digs his feet in, he anchors, and he got under Quentin. Quentin was literally, he was done. Like literally, you can watch, if you watch that rep at the end of it, he won. As crazy as it sounds, yeah, he got there, he pushed him up, but he won that rep. Like literally, I can tell you right there, stop. Like literally, he had him.
Yeah, it almost reminds you of Ronnie Stanley, where it's like I give, and then you're not going anywhere. And you see the pushback there, the leverage, the hand placement, the elbows tucked in, everything is just perfect, perfectly aligned right there. So don't sleep on his strength. Once he gets you, he's good. Here we go again. That was a nice club move by Quinn Williams. Didn't move him, bro. Another example of look at his base. He's getting slapped, but he doesn't go anywhere. Just great job. Want to get Chris just joking in here for the last 2 plays. Hey, what's up, Chris?
Hey.
Yo, what up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
Hey,
Father of the Year, Chris, man. We all get it right.
So, Chris, we're in the middle of Tyler Linderbaum film study, but before we continue, are you going to have to go to elementary school and kick a elementary school girl's butt, or is this a little boy who's strapped with your daughter, sir?
No, it was a little girl. They were racing, and I guess the other little girl lost, so she pushed my daughter. So, I might have to go drop kick somebody over there.
Yeah, drop kick a teacher if you can, man. It's been on my nerves lately, bro.
I know. I'm preaching to the choir.
I had this one teacher. My son's in 2nd grade. Brings home his sandwich, right? I don't know, ham sandwich, whatever it was. Asked him why he didn't eat a sandwich. Because the 2nd grade teacher decided to go vegan hero on him, telling that he was eating a dead animal, and that's disgusting, and he should not be eating that. So that's what they're teaching them, bro. It's like politics talk in school and social justice issues and preaching their own morals, religious or otherwise, on them. And instead of just teaching them just teach them the math and let me do the parenting, Chris.
Hey, man, if I was you, I would have killed a squirrel in front of that person and slapped them with it, telling my kid they can't eat whatever they want to eat, man. Shut up.
Give her the Ben Cleveland special, bro. Just yeah, yeah. And this is Knox from Ravens 8 Elite. Talk about the People's Champ. That's Knox. Yeah, People's Elbow, man. F it, man. F it. But yeah, man, this is pretty great. Yeah, did you buy this sandwich? I think not. Yeah, and the kid, dude, I'm talking like second grade. It was either first or second grade. He's a 7 or 8-year-old kid that thought he was doing wrong by eating the sandwich, bro. It drove me nuts. So, Chris, you missed a lot of Linderbaum, but we're gonna finish up this film study here. I want to get your thoughts on these last couple of plays, sir. All right, because Garnett Muir's been talking a lot.
All right, let's get it. I know Garnett hates Tyler Linderbaum.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate him with a passion, my brother.
So here he is, Chris, picking up a stunt, recognizing that Zeitler's got it and recognizing that Ben Powers was going to be beat on that stunt. Okay, you see him? He's not he's just helping. He sees Powers way late on the stunt. That's going to be a quarterback hit. Melvin Ingram coming at him, Chris.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I see that. Keeps his head nice on a swivel. Make sure he got his arm out to make sure Zeitler's good. Keeps his arm out. And then he just comes off and blasts Ingram.
Yeah.
And that's what I like, too, because a lot of the times you just see offensive linemen, they'll just put their body in front of a guy. And he really puts that, that effort, that oomph into it to knock Ingram back. So I like that.
Chris, you noticed his feistiness. Something we saw in college. We talked about centers when you came on, man. We did the whole center crew. But like Linderbaum's feistiness and like competitiveness, he's through the whistle kind of guy, man. He wants some extra action on every play, it looks like.
Yeah, he does. And a guy who beat Tristan Wirfs in wrestling, a dude that outweighs him and is way bigger than him, that guy's coming, he's coming for blood, if he's able to beat him in a wrestling match. So, this guy, he's just not going to be pushed over. He's not going to be finesse about it. He wants that smoke.
Yeah, man. I love the former wrestler. Knox says former wrestler, and you can see it. Yeah, dude, his just overall body control. Before he got on here, we saw him bully Quinnen Williams a little bit on one pass block. You might remember from your film study. But like once he digs in and anchors, man, and gets that leverage, you can see his body control, his feel for leverage is just so natural. We got another player too, Chris, before we get to this Bills game. Here he is again. You see some of the natural strength there against one of these big bodies, number 98. And I know Garnett loves seeing this when people question Linderbaum being undersized.
And that's that the undersized probably helped him there too, because he keeps perfect leverage and he's able to get up under the dude's chest plate, whoever 98 is. So that's just
big
beautiful
Carl
right
Davis.
There. Oh, that's Carl Davis. Oh, it was a Carl Davis revenge game.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Davis trips a little bit, but still, it's just Linderbaum's leverage and the extension of those short little 31.25-inch arms. But yeah, don't sleep on his power, man. He's got some natural power. He's able to put his hips into it. Great catch by Andrews right there. I think fans remember that play. So there we go, fellas. Some Tyler Linderbaum film study. Chris, we missed you at the beginning, so I want to hear what you think about Linderbaum overall as a player, how he's played so far, and what we can expect from him. Let's just concentrate on 2022. If you want to put it out further, go for it, man.
Yeah, man. I was surprised, to be honest with you, because he missed a lot of time, and that's valuable time for a rookie. So, I mean, if he would have been a vet, I would have been kind of worried about him. I mean, we see how, because it's kind of taken about 3 weeks and still not even fully there for Zeitler and Moses to kind of get on the same page when it comes to the run game and being able to have that time and next to the guy next to you. So for him to be a rookie and miss the time that he did and be able to come in and play at the level that he's playing in, it's been phenomenal. So, awesome for him. I give him an A so far in this season.
Let's stick on the offensive line for a minute. Kevin Zeitler looks as good as he did last year. Morgan Moses, so steady on the right side, which was a problem last year for us with McCary being banged up. And McCary did great at first, and he got banged up. Play slipped a little bit. Tyree Phillips, they were switching in and out. It just wasn't good. Now we got Morgan Moses over there holding it down. Powers has played well for Ben Powers. I still would love to see Ben Cleveland in there. And then, of course, left tackle, we're on our fourth tackle in Lele, who equated himself well. Hopefully Ronnie's going to go back. Talk to us about this line, Chris, and if you could expand on what you're thinking about Ronnie Stanley, because I know Garnett, he's going to say some not so nice things. I want to hear what you have to say with Ronnie, Chris.
But before Chris goes, I just want to give Chris his flowers. He deserves a beautiful bouquet. He the one who put me on fire lately, straight from the jump. Just want to give him his flowers.
Okay, I appreciate that. Falale, whatever the hell you say, Falele. He came in and he did his thing. I know it was shaky in the beginning, but he's definitely settled down. Props to Greg Roman too for switching up the game plan a little bit and helping his rookie out. He saw he was having some trouble, and they got that run game going. And once that happened, the whole tone of the game just switched. So props to him. And he's a dude who, I believe in my video, I said I think he has the feet to play left tackle, and he was there on the left side. So major props to him. Way earlier than I would have liked to have seen him, but hey, when you get thrown in the fire, he answered. So major props to him. With the whole Ronnie Stanley situation, when he's ready, he's ready. I've heard too many former athletes talk about I rushed myself or I let the team influence me coming back. I've heard way too many athletes talk about it, and they end up regretting it. Des Bryant is one of those dudes who laid it all out on the line for the Cowboys. And when he didn't look the same, see ya. That's it. That's all she wrote. And now I think it was on I Am Athlete that he had this interview. And he said if he could go back in time, he would have took his sweet ass time to come if he knew how things were going to end up. So it's like when you hear so many former athletes, and even Grant Hill said it on All the Smoke podcast. Grant Hill was like, I listened to the team and I ended up rushing back and I tore my knee up again. So it's like, look, only Ronnie and the team knows what's going on between them. We don't know if they told him, hey, you're good. And he had some trepidation last year and he ended up not being right. And he had to get a second surgery. So we don't know what's going on between them. We don't know what's going on with Ronnie's body. So how could I sit here and tell Ronnie what's going on with his body? I can't do that. So when he's ready, he's ready. But good news is he got that full participation down for practice today. So it's trending towards the right direction. So let's cross our fingers and hopefully he's there to, help out with Von Miller.
All right, Mr. Yuri, before we get to Garnett to close this out, give me your quick thoughts, sir. We got 4 on the panel, so I'm going to try to keep it short with you, Yuri.
Yeah, like Chris said, Ronnie knows his body, but I do believe that there should be some sort of deadline, start date. I mean, you got to get out there eventually. He's cleared by team doctors. You just got to get out there and play. So
hey, team doctors work for the team. They're not in the best interest of the players. So
right, exactly. But there is some fishiness with that Ronnie Stanley surgery last year. But I won't get into that because that's going to be a whole mess. But what I will say is that I think week 5 is a good target date. It's going to rain this weekend, whatever. But I do believe next week, full practice this week, maybe a day off here and there, and then next week, full go. And I think that's what I'm at.
Yeah. So for me, I just want to clear up a couple things because I don't want to be that weird fan that that just cracked. It was a joke about the whole street clothes Stanley. I don't mean like Chris really said it perfectly. It's his body, man. You gotta respect the man and respect his body. It's him at the end of the day. It's not none of us. That's like somebody trying to tell me to go run 3 miles after I experienced my 4 ACL surgeries. Like, do you know me? Like, I just can't like hop up and do that. But the thing about the whole thing with the whole Stanley thing to me is just, like I said, Chris said it as well. You can't trust the team doctors, to be honest with you. Like, literally, this is the same NFL they try to say, hey, Calvin Johnson, take these pills, take this. Here's some opioids. So it's like they're gonna do anything they can to get their product back on the field. But my whole thing about the whole Stanley thing, I just don't like how the team like took care of the thing. If they knew that say he's not gonna say if he doesn't play, right? Do we still do the short-term IR, Jason or Chris? Do they still do that?
Yeah, I mean he didn't practice during the summer.
Bowser's on it.
Right.
Yeah, so the short-term IR, you're still allowed to participate. This is not PUP, but you can still participate with the team, correct?
I don't think you could practice. You can't practice.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So scratch that. Never mind then.
So like Bowser right now, what according to Jeff Zebreck says that he does his thing on the side, but he can't practice with the team, like actually take part in any drills or team activities with them.
Which is what Stanley was doing anyway. I mean, he had his first full practice today. I want to get to Yolanda B before I give my take on this because I got some stuff to say. Thank you, Yolanda. Our first super chat of the night. Yolanda B, the queen. Very insightful stream. Thank you. I sincerely hope the O-line is up for the challenge on Sunday. Go Ravens. Straight to the point. Very well said. Yeah, Von Miller is a handful. I don't think that's a great matchup for Faalele where he is. Even if Faalele was seasoned, getting back into his vertical drop is, that's the one thing that probably why Faalele was projected as a right tackle in the first place. So people are going to complain about Pat Ricard's snap count come Sunday, but it's going to be worth every penny. This is the game to put Pat Ricard. You park him right next to Faalele, at least chip him, give him a chance, and let your receivers work downfield. So, that's kind of what I'm looking for. On Ronnie, my whole issue with everything has been that people have been since the summertime. Well, when Ronnie gets back. Well, when Ronnie gets back. Well, when Ronnie gets back. And I put out a tweet. I'm like, man, you got to think of Ronnie as the dad that left to go get smokes. Like, you don't know when he's coming back. He ain't been back since last year. If he comes back, he might not be the same. Like, we cannot take this for granted. And I'm glad that we had McCary in there. His ankle sprain, it didn't look severe to me. It looked like a low ankle sprain. I think it was reported. My problem is the communication and the relationship between Ronnie Stanley and the team. If you knew it was going to take him a while, you should have left him on PUP and, had some other plans, some other activations that you could have used. Heck, you could have had, him on PUP still and Brent Urban, whatever. You could have played some games. Me personally, I don't think Ronnie's ankle is getting any more sound or structurally sound. I think it's as fixed as it's going to be. I think it's more about Ronnie wanting to get out there and wanting to test it out. It's hard to say, well, we're depending on how his body feels. He don't know how his body feels yet because he hasn't gone through a full practice. I want to see him push it a little bit. So, I can only go off my own personal thoughts. But since he shut it down last year without being on the same page as Harbaugh, I've always wondered, I'm like, man, this just doesn't seem like the same harmony because we've seen them take their time with JK, hold him back. JK wanted to be back since week 1. They kept pushing him back. We've seen what they're doing with Boyle. They won't let him play until he's right. So they got more of investment in Ronnie Stanley than they do both of those guys combined. Think that they want to rush him on the field just against doctor's orders and all this seems like a stretch to me. So my spidey senses are telling me, Ronnie, you need to get your butt out there and test it. It's as fixed as it's going to be, brother. You got to go through that pain, break up that scar tissue, and then tell me how you feel the next day. Chris, come back at me, bro, because I know you got some stronger feelings on that, opposite feelings on that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that. I mean, I don't know how his body feels. He does. I mean, he's been practicing. Like, let's not get it twisted. He's not just on the sideline, with pom-poms. He's been practicing. Today was the first full participation, but they've been ramping up as the weeks go on. They've been giving him a little bit more. And today was the first full participation. So I guess we'll see how his body responds. What up, Engraven?
What's going on, Graven?
Somebody called him the Godfather of Ravens YouTube, and that's like one of the most true statements I've ever seen.
He gets the GOAT treatment. Now, he deserves the GOAT treatment. Did anybody notice on the telecast they had a younger announcer who I thought was pretty good, but he called Kyle Hamilton the GOAT of last week. He went old school with the term GOAT, whereas everybody now knows it as the greatest of all time. He went with the old hero versus the GOAT. Did anybody else catch that, or was that just me?
No, I didn't hear that.
It happened. It happened. You know, I love stuff like that. Godfather of Ravens, YouTube.
There it goes.
Black Daniels telling me to listen to Nasty Nestor on NST. I tried not to, Black Daniels. No offense to Nestor. They talked about this, basically said the same thing. Yeah, Yolanda's getting some love. The beautiful, kind, intelligent, and knows football, Yolanda B. Love her. Thank you. Bailey, send me them beats. I'm gonna put an email in that comment, bro. So go ahead and look. I'll put my email in there for a little bit. Let me know if you get that next week. So yeah, I had to get some music settled in there, Chris. Trying to get some new music for the channel. Okay. So let's look at this injury report. We're going to go yes or no. Okay. So one word answers if you can. Jalen Armour Davis, not injury related, personal. We're not going to speculate. Calais Campbell, not injury related, rest. He'll be good to go. J.K. Dobbins with a chest injury, limited practice. I think it's a good idea just to get him some rest off that knee anyway. J.K. Dobbins, I say, is good to go for Sunday. Garnett, J.K. Dobbins, thumbs up. Good to go Sunday?
Yeah, he'll be good.
Yuri?
Yes.
Good to go.
All right. Justin Houston, groin, did not practice. It's kind of tough to say. I would say 50-50 for Houston, maybe 60-40. I didn't see anything major, but we're going to need Justin Houston this week. I'm going to say I'm leaning towards yes, Garnett.
I want to say no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
All right. I'm by myself on that one. Let's hope we get him. Pat McCary with the ankle sprain. I think he's going to need a couple of weeks off. I don't expect to see Pat McCary back there at left tackle. Garnett.
I think, Faalele is.
Yuri.
Yeah, that's a clean sweep. I think Patrick's not going to be playing on Sunday.
Okay, Marcus Peters, injury, not injury related, rest, knee, he'll be fine. Michael Pierce, biceps, could be out for the season. If he has surgery, he will be out for the season. If he doesn't have surgery, it's still going to be a long time. Huge loss for the Ravens. It looks like, Chris, we'll go from the bottom up this time. Travis Jones is going to have to log a lot of time, and I got a lot of confidence in him that he can do a good job in there. How about yourself, sir?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that there was a play against the Patriots where he just blew the center up, and it brought a smile to my face. So it's again like Faalele, getting thrown into the fire. Now you got to take the big boy snaps. So I think he'll answer the bell.
Yeah, Travis Jones in the third, greater than signed. Jordan Davis in the first. I think he'll be just fine. So I'm for it.
Oh, should I chime in? Yeah, Travis is gonna be that dude, man.
That's your collard greens. And then we talked about James Prochet, groin, full practice. He looks like he's back, although he might not be active because Tylan Wallace is that guy on special teams. And then Ronnie Stanley, we went on and on and on about. Yuri, I am going to let you go because I also asked Alec from One Winning Pod. Chris Garnett let me panic by not being here at the beginning. So I asked a lot of people to fill in. Now I got people waiting. That's all it's hard to about, Yuri. I'm sorry, buddy.
All good. All good. Appreciate you having me on. I will see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks, Yuri. Look at this handsome young man.
Hey, look at this guy.
The Greek Freak version 2. Not Karloff and not Vass. He is the Greek Freak of his own, man. That is Alec from One Winning Pod. What's going on, sir?
Dude, I just deleted Twitter from my phone and reinstalled it. These notifications not coming through is it crossed the line. It's been so flaky on me for the last week or two, and I missed your message until just now. I was over here watching. I was like, dang, they're down to 2. I put me in, coach, and then I see what you asked me to put in. I was just like, I'm sorry, bro. What's up?
Nothing much. But Knox from Ravens 8 Elite, man, our friend, good looking man right there, if I do say so myself. They're running Houston into the ground. Bro, they also ran Campbell into the ground last week. You all remember, Alec, he was on the ground holding his right knee in the first quarter.
Dude.
Fox went to commercial. And I'm like, oh my God. He was back in that same series, played 59 out of 66 snaps. We got to get some rest in here. JPP, Brandon Copeland, whatever you got to do to get Calais in Houston some rest. Because, yeah, man, we're running these old guys to the ground. Knox said he damn near 40.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. I think the biggest problem, too, is that you had Boyle elevated. So you had 4 tight ends. He only played 4 snaps, and he didn't have Urban available. And we were talking about that on our show. It was just – I feel that was a mismanagement of resources.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, your defensive line is depleted. You know, your all outside linebackers are depleted. And you're going to sit that dude and have Nick Boyle play 4 snaps and have most of those be special, like the kneel down. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was I was like the WTF moment when we saw the lineup. I was like, why? We already were hurting at the edge rush position, and knowing that, bro, I know that a lot of flack is going against Oliver as for his run blocking, but I think he's good. I think he's better off than what we for Boyle for what Boyle is right now, or what the team thinks of Boyle. Why keep on doing this? I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's sad to watch, man, and it's so unnecessary. The hit was unnecessary. A career altered. We could use Nick Boyle in this offense still. Luckily, we have Pat Ricard to fill that role, and we've seen Pat. Alec, bro, Pat is playing a lot of tight end, inline tight end, like we would normally ask Boyle to do.
Yeah, it's really odd too, from like just an accounting perspective. When you have a guy that's kind of versatile like that, you don't know what they're going to line up in. So it's nice in a way that Ricard's been able to fill in for the Boyle role, but I don't know. I'm so discouraged about the whole Nick Boyle situation. I feel real bad for him.
Yeah, I don't like living in a world where the Ravens see Josh Oliver as a better blocker than Nick Boyle. Like, yep. I don't like that.
Oh, that hurt, Chris. It's so true, bro.
That's the reality, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, I'm right there. It's like you had Brent Urban right there. I just don't understand. Like it's like the numbers. It's just simple math and just common sense. Like we're lacking, like how you gentlemen just spoke about. Why not? Like Nick Boyle, hey, cool. You can flip the coin for all I care about. Let's make sure we have some depth on the other side of the ball, because like Calais, man, that was pretty ridiculous about the numbers. I didn't know that. I somewhat knew he was on the field a lot, but the numbers by itself is like mind blowing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 59 out of 66 snaps. So we're not going to go through all these, but you thought the Ravens injury report was bad.
Oh boy.
Are you about to give us a barbecue ticket report?
Hey, Alec, you got the best camera I ever seen in my damn life.
Like, God.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's stupid. No, I don't recommend anyone do this, but I do like photography and videography on the side, so I have like my camera set up. Yeah.
You look like you doing an interview for a reality TV show right now. Like it is crystal clear. Yeah, it's crystal clear.
This is what happens when you have 7 strangers.
What is the thing where they it's like regular football camera, and then they go to that other camera and it pops up? That's like we're like the regular one, and Alex like the special one that they got.
Oh yeah!
Oh my God!
All right, okay. So this is a little small. This is why I need Alec to come up. Most of the things I have in my house are big. I always talk about how, but we're not going to get into that. Let's just go to the key stats of this game. Garnett, take a gander at this, bro. The Ravens are number 1 in points scored at 99. The Bills are number 4. They've only allowed 38 points the entire season. Strength against strength. I tried to pull up the Bills injury report. it froze on me. The Bills have a lot of injured pieces here. What sticks out to you about those numbers? If you need a second to go over it,
Hold on.
Garnett, look.
Hold on. Let my eyes lock on to this because this. All right, hold on. Give me a second. All right. So if I'm looking at this right, yards per attempt is 5th for the Bills. Yards per attempt for Lamar is 8.5. Is that passing or rushing?
Yeah, Lamar missed the passing part. You see Ravens rushing above it. So
Okay.
the Ravens are 17th in pass yards, but they're third in the league, 8.5 yards every time they throw. And of course, Lamar leads the league in touchdowns, number one in touchdowns with 10 passing touchdowns. The Bills' defense, second in passing yards, 5th in yards per attempt. They've only allowed 2 passing touchdowns on the year. Strength versus strength there, G.
It's gonna be a doozy, but with the fact that I think Benford has a hand injury, which is the corner that they started over Kyrie Elam, because I guess he had a better camp than him. Well, Kyrie Elam, I think he's gonna be a very good corner in the league, but we'll see what he's gonna be packing against Rashad Bateman when the opportunity arises. I feel like it's gonna be a nice battle when it comes to like skill player versus skill player. And I know was it Poyer or Hyde that had the season?
So here you go. Knox is chiming in. No Trey White, no Poyer, no Hyde, no Dane Jackson. Teron Jackson and Benford have been playing solid. So, Chris, bro, there's numbers. It seems like the Ravens are catching an awesome pass defense at a good time. Can Lamar keep up what he's been doing here?
Yeah, I think so. They're really banged up, like everybody's been saying. I think, especially if Poyer's not going to play. I think he was limited today in practice. I think he had an ankle. So if he doesn't play, and we already know Micah Hyde's out, so that those two dudes, they're like the engine that make this defense run, like on the back end. Those two safeties are probably the two most important safeties on any team in the league, because just the way that they like to play defense and all that they ask for their safeties. So if those two guys are out, it could get ugly for their secondary, especially when you talk about the backup pieces that they have that are also going to be missing too. They just signed Xavier Rhodes, who's chilling at home. So I think this is the perfect time to get them. They have a heck of a defensive line. Which the Ravens have been facing this year. When you look at the Jets, when you look at the Dolphins, you look at the Patriots, all of those teams have really solid defensive lines that go deep. So the Bills are no different. So that's the strength of this team right now. So hopefully they can take advantage of those guys that are hurting in the secondary.
So, Alec, I love what Chris just said there. I want to focus on this for a second. What type of teams have given Lamar and Roman problems? And what has Lamar and Roman evolved to be able to take advantage of? It's those teams with good safeties. Think of the Titans and Kevin Byard and company. Think of the Bills. Think of the safeties flooding the flooding the lanes, the outside, covering it up. And then think about how Roman now is splitting safeties. He's using the deep overs. All these things to try to counteract the safeties that had previously given the Ravens problems. So, Alex, speak to the importance of, I love Chris's point. What's your overall feel on the Ravens being able to throw the ball? Because, I mean, when we go to the other side, we're going to see it's going to be tough to stop Josh Allen. We're going to need to keep throwing and control the clock and get big plays.
We will. And this game flow, I'm so worried about it in a way, just because we're talking about the pass, all things being equal, but I'm still concerned about the weather. I'm not so sure that it's going to be a game where people want to pass the ball. I got the notification on my phone about the gale force winds possibly this weekend, so definitely something to keep an eye on. But if we assume neutral positions with the throwing, yeah, obviously they're going to be in 10, 11 personnel. We've already seen how the Ravens kind of can struggle against teams that want to be in that package. Just they force our hand with our quarterback situation, and I think on the other side, though, we can do the same. I really do think so. The nice thing that you have going on too with the flexibility with the wide receivers. Duvernay has really ascended and showing that he wants to, be a good player in this league. Mark Andrews is still playing at top level. Bateman's playing well. I think you're keeping enough options. And I don't think you can undercount this. I'm really excited about what Dobbins is doing in the passing game. It was only 2 passes his way, but I know they were working on that last year, and I'm a big believer in his ability as a pass catcher too. So, sprinkle in some Likely, sprinkle in, Robinson, and I think you're going to be okay.
So Garnett, kicking it back to you on this Ravens pass game. To expect Lamar in the offense to function like they have the last 2 weeks might be, dude, it's as good as I've seen them. The Jets, though, that was a good game too. Against this Bills team in the weather, can we expect a performance somewhere between what we've seen from week 1 to week 3? Like, are we still going to be one of the top passing attacks in the NFL? Are we going to look like it against the Bills on Sunday?
It's amazing that every time that we play the Bills, it's like crazy weather ever since the playoffs. It's just pretty crazy to me. But hopefully the weather's not as bad, whatever. But I think that it's hopefully we adjust and make the short game. Hopefully the short game, quick slants. We'll try to do a couple screens here or there. But I really think we could seriously take advantage of their the injuries that they have in that secondary. I would like to see, keep on Duvernay having his success. Obviously, Bateman. But I'm glad one thing that Alec hit on was Likely. He was a little quiet the last game, but I would like to see more utilization with them because they got terrific linebackers that can cover. But if you add Likely in the mix, especially with the situation that they have in that corner, you're holding the Bills defense in a tricky situation where, hey, I got Likely on the field. Do I want to go heavy or do I want to treat or add another corner out there or a safety or whatever? So basically you can create one-on-one battles or with personnel by itself. So, I actually, this is crazy. I have a lot of trust and put in the fidelities of Greg Loman. And I really think that we can take advantage of those situations out there.
All right, Alex. So I want to go from you on this one before we get to the other side of the ball. I could see a situation where the Ravens have success against the Bills rushing. You can see the Bills defense rushing number 1, only 173 yards allowed. Number 2 and 2.8 yards per carry. This is a tough front. What I like and what my idea would be is to go up tempo and try to wear them out and also wear their mind out because you got a lot of new guys in there. So I could see this being a situation where we see a little bit of old school Ravens football where we're looking for breakdowns in their discipline, where they're not respecting the rush lanes or not used to playing the read option and that kind of thing to break off a couple of runs because we could put Likely and Andrews on the field. Hear me out here. Likely Andrews and say we put Ricard out there to help block Von Miller. And then Rashad Bateman is our 4th and a running back. Dude, that you can spread all those guys out if you want, except for Ricard, and go to a 3 wide receiver look. Or you can bunch them all in and run the ball down their throat with Likely and Andrews, both having the versatility to be able to block as a tight end or to be spread out wide as a wide receiver. So could we see a surprise emergence of the run game in this game against the Bills, Alec?
I think so. I think that whole package you described is a beautiful thing and what I've been kind of hoping for all offseason to see that kind of package go out there and dare them one way or the other. I will say, the Bills defense, I'm not trying to discredit them, but I don't think they're the number 1 run defense in practice. I think they're in really great situations leading by, 20 points in the first 2 games of the season that no one was really trying to run against them. So when you're looking at a pure yardage stat like that, I know the yards per carry are pretty good too, though. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying they might not be like truly number 1, truly suffocating. So I do expect the Ravens to comfortably run against them. I honestly think the Bills are going to have a unique challenge playing against us because they haven't seen a team that can run as well as us. They haven't seen the same, obviously, with Lamar Jackson. And I just think it's a different level. And then once you could put them in that position, let's see how their pass defense does, particularly with the injuries.
So, Chris, are you feeling me on the fact that they got a lot of new pieces in there? maybe they ain't as disciplined in the run lanes as they normally would against this Greg Roman offense. They could give up a couple of big runs because of the safeties being in and out and that kind of thing. And could you see the Ravens taking advantage of this and running the ball like Lamar's 87% of our offense? Could you see Lamar being 75% of the offense and the running backs actually, pulling their weight a little bit this week?
Yeah, I think so because, like we spoke about earlier, they have a lot of injuries and a lot of new faces in that secondary. So they're not going to be able to have their safeties playing so close to the line and just kind of muddying up the gaps like the way that teams like to do when they face the Ravens. Because now Lamar, he's proven, hey, I'll beat you over the top if that's what you want to do. That's the kind of game you want to play. So now do the Bills want to take that gamble with these new guys? Because they don't have Tre'Davious White there. They don't have Jordan Poyer. They don't have they might not have Jordan Poyer. They don't have Micah Hyde. So now are they going to be able to take those risks? I'm not so sure. I think Leslie Frazier, he likes to keep everything in front of his guys. I don't think he's, like a Wink where he's willing to take those chances and able to get to the quarterback. So I think he's going to play it safe. And I think, like you said, that'll open up a lot of space for these running backs and for Lamar to be able to run and create those rushing lanes. And I just don't see Leslie Frazier being very, very aggressive the way that we've seen in the past, like in that playoff game where he just, had everybody muddled up at the line.
Yeah, and especially since Belichick didn't learn the lesson from Miami that if you bring in the pressure, Lamar is – we're overly prepared for that now. Lamar is historically good versus the blitz. So, Garnett, before we move to the big worry of the game, which is the defense, give me your thoughts on the rushing attack of the Ravens and build on what the other guys had said.
Yeah, I really think, just keep on doing I would say this with the zone schemes. I would like to keep on seeing that JKE give him more, keep on adding him in, let him do his little contributions. But biggest thing really, I actually bought the film cut up for Justice Hill. Keep on getting him involved. Like I want to see maybe a couple toss plays here or there. Just let him work in the open space and let's see what he can do, man. I really do feel comfortable with us running the ball. And the main part is, I know we're talking about rushing, but literally after a while, when you do a play action with Lamar, his lanes are going to be open. So with that happening, that's a world of trouble for a young, adolescent secondary.
Yeah, I think the Ravens do want some payback from getting beat up in Buffalo. We were out physical that game. The rosters change every year and that kind of thing, but I could see this being an extra physical game. We know what the weather's going to be like. It's going to be very windy and rainy. It's a hurricane, so it's not like the prediction is pretty solid, bro. It's not going to be a nice day in Baltimore, wind-wise or wetness-wise. So let's get to the elephant in the room. Anaraya says, we giving up 300 yards to Flacco, Tua, and Mac Jones. Are we going to be able to contain Allen, Diggs, and company? I guess that's how you define contain, Alec.
No. I'm not saying that we're going to contain him at all. I do think it could be less terrible than you would assume given the talent differential. But I do think, honestly, the big way that the Ravens defense wins here is they got to be opportunistic. They got to get big stops, sacks, interceptions, fumbles, etc. Like that. And that's what they've been able to do all year. So I do think there's a chance that the defense does better than you expect. There might be a lot of, empty calorie yards going on. But the biggest thing is they got to learn from what happened. If you look at the playmakers, they can get behind you. They can get behind the safeties. Don't let that happen. Keep them in front of you and live another day. That's kind of my whole hope with this. I just don't want to. I don't want to see them try to disguise anything. I just want them to play some basic coverages. do your job. We'll be all right.
All right, Chris. Before you go, brother, the Bills third in the league in points scored. The Ravens are 24th in points allowed. The Ravens have allowed 77 points. Josh Allen, number 1 in the NFL in passing yardage, number 8 in yards per attempt. So Lamar's yards per attempt. Lamar is number 1. which is kind of crazy. Josh Allen is only second to Lamar in passing touchdowns. The Ravens defense, dead last in yards allowed, 30th in yards per attempt. They've already given up 7 touchdowns in the air. So setting that up for you, if you could build on Alex's point, Chris.
No, I love what Alex said. Just keep everything in front of you. We've seen, how the big plays can just demoralize a team. We saw it all last year where they just gave up those chunk plays. And it's like, look, if he's going to dink and dunk his way down the field, hey, I live with that, over blown coverage because, guys didn't communicate who's going to be where. And just do it like that. And then, like Alex said, this is an opportunistic defense. You got Marcus Peters. You got Marcus Williams, who's playing all world right now. Let those dudes create turnovers if they can. So I say keep everything in front of you. You're not going to stop this offense. That you're kidding yourself if you're thinking you're going to stop this offense. There's no way. But as far as just not being able to have those huge chunk plays and have them score, like on a 60-yard pass, I feel like limiting that will be the key to this game and getting turnovers.
Yeah, and just to follow what Chris said, I was listening to the winning podcast by my brother down there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, a little shameless little plug in on, like I said. But the biggest thing that he said, and it triggered me, is like, I can live with 350 plus yards, but if you can give me turnovers in the miss, that empty calories doesn't really matter, man. So I understand it's the thing about Josh Allen. And we all understand, like, Josh Allen is a phenomenal quarterback. He gets better and better every year. But there's going to be a couple throws that you're going to be able to get from him, and you just got to seize those opportunities. So, how you said, Chris, about Marcus Williams just being able to just seize a lot of great moments early on in the season. Obviously, we know what MP Juice Man can do. And then Marlon, oh my God, he finally caught one of these, man, which is crazy, right? So it's crazy, and I just want to know if we can just get our hands on a couple of those falls, just catch the ball, we're good, man. So, and the biggest thing about this, I know we were talking about just the secondary or whatever in the rushing game. I think the biggest thing, if we touch Josh Allen, we have to bring him down. Don't allow him to stand play, because that's where I think a lot of problems happen. Just even with us, even when when we talk about Lamar, if you can't get Lamar, you're done. It's the same thing with Josh Allen.
Like Big Ben back in the day.
Yo, I'm so glad he said. I said this earlier to somebody. Like, he's like an in shape Big Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, man,
That's awesome. So I'm going to echo. I ain't even going to go on a spiel. It's turnovers. Find a way to get the ball. That's what it's about to me. Turnover battles. I'm not worried about the rushing game. I took it off the screen. I don't even care. So I want to go to Alec and go back around on my plan of attack for this. All right. I saw last week. It took us rushing 5 to be able to get to Mac Jones. And I like that plan of attack against Josh Allen. And here's why. Patrick Queen in the middle of the field has been in slot corners has been our bugaboo. Like, we're good on the outside, Chris and Alec. We were talking about this later. Marlowe's playing great. Marcus is barely being tested. We're getting killed over the middle of the field. So what I would like to see is to blitz Patrick Queen up the gut and not worry about what we usually worry about, which is, if you do that, you're going to flush Allen out to his right and all this other stuff. This is a game where I'm willing to take that gamble. If Allen wants to run it and we're going to, tee off on him 10 times in the open field, or get him to throw to the sideline or back across the middle, that's kind of where I want it. I don't want to sit back too conservatively and give him time to pick us apart over the middle of the field or have the coverage sit. Pass rush is going to be tough to get. So, I kind of want to be a little more aggressive with our rush, but not wink. You know what I mean? Like you guys said, lay back, keep everything in front of you. But let's blitz 5. Let's use Patrick Queen primarily as a blitzer in this game. Turn up the blitz percentages without it being like a reckless press man, zero blitz type situation. So, yeah, I want to get Josh Allen off of his spot. And I want to deter him from picking us apart over the middle by rushing him up the middle. Give me some Patrick Queen or some Malik or some Josh Bynes up the A gap to make Josh move his feet and have to look outside.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sound like Greg Williams right now, but when he gets out of the pocket and when he runs, make sure he feels those hits because he's a guy who he likes to deliver some punishment too when he runs the ball. So defensive players, make sure you deliver that blow and make sure you get him, make sure he feels it. Lamar Garnett's about to get us suspended.
Oh man, yeah,
yeah. Go ahead, Alec. I was about to say
I
something.
was going to say, man, like the thing is with this defense, you look at the personnel changes, and there's not terribly many. It just a kind of return of health, but also the improvement in the safety room. I think like we don't need the deception. Like we've grown up. Like that was a crutch. I think we have the playmakers to say, we dare you. You know what we're doing, but we dare you to execute better than us. And I think that's the key to the game. We don't need the crutch. And I do like the idea, if Patrick Queen's going to be in the wrong spot, go blitz him. He knows how to do that real well. So it's like, I like that. I think that's a nice pivot, particularly for this game.
Right. Yeah, I was just saying, I was just agreeing with I concur with all the statements that were said, especially with the just Queen and just Chris. I love it. Just, hey, if you're gonna mess up at 100% and make them feel your mess up. So
yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing for us, to just, to make a statement. It's like, hey, when you hit these guys, you hit them. If you're gonna, blitz and then the running back is trying to chip you, make sure the running back feels you on the chip and those things. So it's really just got to be dominant. I'm hoping this is going to be a coming out party for Travis Jones. I think this is the perfect game for Travis Jones, in my opinion, for him to just like, hey, I am that bad mofo that, people need to know about. Because I know I heard Chris Sims, I was listening to a podcast for 2 weeks in a row, and he stated that our defensive line has no dogs. So we're lacking, a dog on this line. So hopefully this will be the show. Okay, I'm just saying, man. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying.
I know. It just
but hey, I'm just saying this is where I think Travis Jones, he'll make his name, and Matabuke, hopefully. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to bring our comments back up, and I'm going to let each of you take one here as we close out the show. Alec, this one is going to be for you from Don C. The Dapper Don, Big Don Stud, Teflon Don himself. Our secondary, Alec, would be much better if we had any kind of pass rush. We need to have some kind of pressure. What are your thoughts on, do you agree with them? Been a little underwhelmed with the pressure, and is this the game where we need to bring it up if we're going to slow down the Bills?
Oh, I mean, for sure. I always take a pass rush, right? Like there's no negatives there. But I do think that the key to that is you look at the lineup. Matabuke is definitely balling out. I'm so glad that he's starting to get some of these splash plays that show up in the stat sheet that aren't just the dirty work, so other people can recognize it. But like he's definitely been playing very well. I still think Oweh can do it. I'm not out on him. I think opposing teams definitely respect Oweh, and that matters, right? We'll see about Houston's availability and Travis Jones. I think, like you said, Garnett, I think he can deliver. Young man looked dominant in preseason. I know it's a different, different world, but if he can bring just a little bit of that juice that we're in need of, particularly with Pierce hurt, yeah, I think we can get there. And Queen has looked good rushing. Even the corner blitz, like use it sparingly, a little bit of finishing salt there, but you might have the ability to get Allen down, and I could see. I feel like I'm dreaming a little bit, but I could see a world where we get out ahead of them fast, maybe get a turnover, score well, and they're just frazzled because they haven't been there. They're not used to that, and I could just see us like getting real in our heads, like real amped up. Just if we get the momentum going, I could see us really laying it in on them in the pass rush and everything. So that's the optimistic take. I think it's a 3% chance, but it'd be a beautiful thing.
All right, so I got one for you, also from the Don. This one I'm going to kick to Chris Aguilera. He's a man of his X's and O's. He's saying, Don saying, let Chuck Clark play Mike, move PQ to Will, Oweh Sam, four-man pressure front to get pressure from the interior. They don't have a big crushing running back. Chris, we haven't seen quarters coverage much. It seems like McDonald is leaving Queen on the field for 100% of the snaps. So it really doesn't matter. Mike will. I mean, I don't know if Don's on to something here because I think that's kind of what we have been doing.
So I mean, I personally wouldn't do that. Just because they would be really, really light up front in the box. And they've already kind of been getting pushed around in the run game too. And the Bills, they do have a big running back with Zach Moss, who's been playing well as of late. He looks a lot better than he did last year. I know he had a high ankle sprain, but that's a big dude. And the way Ramondre Stevenson ran on them, Damian Harris was getting in on the action early in the game. Chase Edmonds was looking good too. Those young boys on the Jets, they looked good too. Bryce and what's the other, Michael Carter. Yeah, so the run game, that's going to be big because they haven't been able to really stop the run. So I think that'll be huge because if the Buffalo Bills, which they don't really like to run the ball that much, and when you have a guy like Josh Allen and that kind of passing attack, why would you want to run? But like Alex said earlier, with this weather, they might be forced to run and switch up and play that kind of game if things get ugly and Josh Allen really can't throw the ball the way that they would like him to. So stopping the run, I think that's a pretty big priority. It could be a pretty big priority due to the weather. So me personally, I would keep PQ in the middle.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. And Garnett, last question of the night here. We're going to take, is this the key to the game, brother, or what? Like we all kind of mentioned it. We have to be able to capitalize when the opportunities are presented. So like last week, we got away with, PQ dropping a potential pick six and, it could have been a 14-point swing if he catches it or if they score a touchdown. Like, all right, you agree with Black Daniels here. This isn't the week for that, man. We have got to create turnovers. If there's a loose ball, we've got to fall on it. If there's a bad call, we've got to be on the good end. We've got to create holding calls. We've got to do whatever we can in every area to try to swing the momentum in this game.
Right, and that ties into what I said earlier about, hey, you can have a 300-plus yard game, but if we're getting interception, forced fumbles, or strip sacks or whatever, we're actually winning that. You know what I mean? So yeah, if that's my whole thing with it. Like, just we cannot fumble the bag if Josh Allen gives us a freebie or a fumble hits the ground. Or we have to create our own moments in this game. So, this is gonna be a sloppy weather game. If peanut punch, fruit punch. I'm saying peanut punch, but fruit punch. The fruit punch, this should be there. Hey, the originator, I gave him his respects, all right? But with the fruit punch, like that should be handy. Hopefully Hamilton, he can get another punch out. But yeah, man, like it really is all about just coaching for us, execution, just making sure every snap counts, as I would say. So yeah, man, if you get an opportunity to do something great, capitalize on it.
All right, so last round here, gone a little long, but we needed to, man. It's a big night. Had people step up for us like Chris and Alec. Really appreciate that. Ashley, we miss you. We hope you're good down there. We know you're without power. Parents are probably driving you crazy. Hope you're nice and safe though first. But I want to go around one more time. Alec, I want you to tell people about your pod too as well. But if you could say what's one aspect of this game, like what are your final thoughts here? What do you want to leave us with on this Bills game?
Yeah, just to go off that last question, I think the biggest thing is this game will probably come down to a couple key plays, and you got to execute and be on the better side of it. It's not the best analysis in the world, but it's just the truth. And like I that's all I'm looking for. I hope that they just don't embarrass themselves in the biggest way. I maybe to a fault have too much respect for other teams in the league, and I'm like, if they do good things, it's like, well, we're all trying to win, so it's it's like, oh, they did a good thing, like congrats to them. But I just hope we come out on the right side here. It'd be so awesome to be 3-1 and get the Bills at 2-2. I mean, that's sweet. Like we all thought going in, we would just try to get them to the same level. But if we can put them down a peg, that's pretty. I like that. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on, Jason. Sorry I missed your message sooner, but you can find us at One Winning Pod, Twitter, online. There it is. We have the YouTube channel going now. We put up our bets. We did the show right before your show. I want to edit it and put it up tonight. And we'll have our Bills preview tomorrow as well.
Am I still winning in the picks?
Bro, you are. I'm in second. I'm not used to being behind you.
Yeah, you know, and you're not going to be used to being behind. Let's skip with the dirty talk over there, sir. Mr. Aguilera, tell us about your work with our buddy MC Carey. Not in the ice cream business just yet. Still cranking out Ravens content. Tell us about that and leave us with your last thought as Garnett is doing his best hype man. He is the P. Diddy to your Biggie Smalls right now, sir.
Yeah, man. Check us out, Deep Cover Pod. You try to come out with an episode every week. Kerry, he does his fantasy football stuff. Check out his DFS lineups that he puts out every week. I know Mike, he works on his, in the lab projects that he likes to do sometimes when he's, feeling like cooking up some film study. And I'm actually getting ready to start dropping some draft stuff too, because your boy got the sickness. So even though it's September, I'm still looking ahead to the draft. So I already started looking at some players. So I'll be dropping some stuff shortly.
Can you give us a hint about one player?
What?
Just give us a hint of just one player. One player, man. Because you struck gold with Lele.
So I started off with the guard class this year. And a guy that I really like a lot is Cooper Beebe from Kansas State. He was a dude that played left tackle last year. He had All-American honors over there. But now this year he's playing left guard. So he's a guy who has that versatility. I wouldn't put him as a left tackle in the NFL, but I do think in a pinch he could hang there if needed. But I really do like him a lot, and I actually watching him made me discover Deuce Vaughn, who is just that dude. He might be one of my favorites, and I've only seen a handful. So Deuce Vaughn, check Deuce Vaughn out. Just look at his highlights. Because you're not going to find any offensive lineman highlights. So check out Deuce Vaughn, who Cooper Beebe, number 50, he blocks for. So those are two guys who I like.
Yes, as a wise man from the band Disturbed once said, get up, get down with the sickness. Your mother get up, you get down with the sickness. They are some sick people over there at the Deep Cover Pod, each with their own lane. Like I told Mike I was tired of watching film. This was like early August. I'm like, I'm done. I've studied everything I can from 2021. I'm just ready for preseason games. He's like, well, I'm working on some run schemes and stuff like that. I'm like, Mike, you are a sick mofo. Chris is the same way with the draft. Kerry is a sick man and a magician with the fantasy lineups. So Garnett, man, you're looking great. What are your final thoughts, sir? Okay. Well, on that note,
the mic drop.
It's time to close this out. That's the picture. There he is. Garnett, final thoughts. And what did you think about our guest performances tonight? Final thoughts on the Bills game. And unmute yourself, please, sir.
I think we should have these guys on at a rapid rate because they're awesome people. They're good family. Thank you guys for showing up. I love you guys wholeheartedly, as I should say. Man, I think it was a great show. Hey, we didn't even do a final score prediction. We're not going to do that?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not going to do that, especially not for this game.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're not confident?
Not a final score guy. Theo made me give a final score for the Miami game. And what's the only game we lost? By the way, second week in a row for this sweatshirt. Let's hope we can just hold on, man. Let's hope we can just hold on. Let's beat a more physical team. Let's beat the hell out of them for a change. Let's physically beat them up, and then come up with the big play offense and take advantage of these backup safeties. And like Alex said, put them behind and see how they respond. Put Allen under a little pressure, see how they respond. Trust your deep safeties to clean everything up, keep everything in front of you. All positive thoughts, I think. I'll be
right.
positive. Yeah.
Yeah, I can dig it. I'll roll with that, man. But yeah, man, I just want to say thank y'all too, man. Y'all the bros, man. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, keep the sweatshirt alive. I don't, I hope I'm wearing it for another 20 weeks. That would be great. Yuri chiming back in, 31-30 Ravens. Man, you know what, guys? My final thought is if we win this game, it will make up for that Miami game in my mind. Because you beat who I think is going to be a tougher task down the road. Once people start figuring out this Mike McDaniel type offense, I think McDaniel's a hell of a coordinator, and he's using Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle really well. I think in the end, unless Buffalo keeps getting beat up, that they are going to be the competition for us. If when we're looking at, hey, we're going to win our division, and let's look at who else is in the division. I still see Buffalo, KC. I don't see anybody out the East. So out of the AFC South. So yeah, hey man, bonus time, bro. 3-1 would make up for that Miami loss. 2-2 would not like ruin me on the season, but like Alex said, just if we get blown out and it creates questions, that's not what we want. We need to stay in this game and impose our will. So with that, I would like to say thank you to our football family. Love my football family. Shout out to Yolanda B for the super chat. Really appreciate that. And with that, fellas, say goodbye to the people. Jump all in at once.
Peace.
See y'all.
Peace.